Hey, you there. Thank you for watching and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. We'll start with Team 1 on the northern side of the map, also known as Team Blue, and ending with Team 2 in the south, also known as Red Team. Starting off with Team 1's Western player first, we have an Amethyst Purple. It is Ferdin. He is a Seraphim for this match as a 1362 rated. To his east, we have in Royal Blue, it is Lupercal 10. He's playing as a UEF for this match as the highest rated player on Team 1 at 1458 rated. Barely beating out his teammate to his east in Stitch Blue. He is a Cybrant of the Alpha, playing as a 1430 rated. So for Team 1 side of the map, in terms of the faction makeup, they have one UEF, they have one Cybran, and 0 Aeons, but also have one Seraphim. So again, missing only the Aeon faction on Team 1. Moving on to Team 2, we'll start in the East first. We have in Orange Color Orange, it is Ayahuasca Desk. He's playing as a UEF for this match as a 1310 rated. To his west in Chevy Crimson, we have the Cybran of Les Sauce. He probably has the sauce. He is a Cybran. He is a 1614 rated. He is the highest rated player on Team 2, but he's also the highest rated player overall. And rounding out Team 2 to the west, we have in Ruby Red, it is Original Angel as a Seraphim. He is a 1316 rated. So the Team 2 side of the map, they also have only one UEF, also one and only Cybran. They also have no Aeons. They also have one Seraphim. So it is a mirror match between Team 1 and Team 2. But the Aeons are not with us today. Apologies to those loyal to the princess. Hopefully you enjoy the game nonetheless. And for these 6 players, 3 on each team, let's take a look at their reclaim situation. Currently sitting at... Ooh, that's really not a lot of mass. 4,100 to be exact. Between 6 players, that's almost 700 mass per player, a little bit under that. The map kind of, sort of, not really makes up for it in mexes for players to grab. We have 2 sets of mexes, or 2 areas of the map, realistically, for each team to grab mexes. We have the front line right here with a couple of, I'll just say twins, because there's really nothing else anywhere for Team 1, at least in the front line. And in the back line, they have 2 5-star mech positions that they are sharing. We do see some bombers inbound from Team 2 to cause a little bit of havoc right now. There are a couple of one-offs, so it's not entirely just these 2 sets or locations of mexes, but for the most part, that is the major clumpage of mexes. There's nothing in the middle of the map, bar, again, ignore the mechs or 2 that I accidentally circled, but realistically, there's no mexes over here, there's no mexes over here, there's no mexes in the middle of the map. There's just very thin on the mex count, which does mean it will take a little bit longer for players to get the T3. But who knows, maybe somebody will not build any units and then try to blitz it down as quickly as possible. We have seen that. But again, in a 3v3 game, everybody needs to be on their toes because one unit, one bomb, one something could make the difference, as in every game, but even so in lower count player matches, that every little smidgen makes a difference. We do see that Team 2's player of Original Angel sending some forces against Verdun's position. Not enough to kill him. Maybe annoy him at least a little bit. We do see he's getting a nice little facility behind him. And those forces from Original are falling back. And realistically, again, there's a lot of no man's land on this map. So pushing into enemy territory is going to be even riskier because of that team doesn't claim the territory or significantly damage it. For Team 1, that is mass being dumped, and every game needs mass, or every player needs mass, but especially games like this where it's very limited. Every wreck, every engineer, everything can make a difference. T2 started on board. Ferdinand's come to the west. We do see that Team 1 has clumped their 2 of their 3 comms kind of close together. Lupercal over here on the lower section, and then Alpha on the upper section. It is a little bit difficult to tell, but there's a lot of hills and whatnot, decent amount of plateaus in this map. So it's going to be kind of a logistical nightmare to get units across the map in terms of land. Air units, of course, never have that issue, as is air. And there's smidgens, very like small pockets of water, which if anybody builds a T2 cruiser or whatever in the water, just go for it, because I highly doubt we'll see that just because of how small the water is. But who knows? Crazier stuff has happened. T1 bombers inbound from Team 2 from Lasas, still wreaking havoc on the Team 1 side of the map. Again, slowly eating away at all those exterior mexes in 2 mass a second, 4 mass a second, even 6 mass a second. Those couple of mexes being taken offline slowly eats away. And again, every little bit helps in every game, but especially on maps like these. We do see that Team 2's Lasas's forces are heading this way straight after his mirror of Lupercal. Lupercal is over here to the east. We do see he's pulling his comm back as well as the forces from the Alpha to intercept. T2 land is online. He's producing pillars as we speak. Pillars already have been built. This should be enough to curtail this attack. He might lose the T2 max, if at all, which will definitely be unfortunate for him. That 6 mass a second he'll just lose automatically, but he might not lose it. It does fall into the yellow, but it doesn't get killed off. So there is that. And again, the more that Team 2 does this, they throw units at Team 1. They throw, air units, land units, whatever. All of that mass from those units are going to get funneled into something else for Team 1. And that extra little smidgen of mass, again, like I'm going to keep saying it probably throughout the match, it's going to make a difference. Reclaim total is a little bit in favor for Team 1, but not by much. About maybe 250, 300 max. And in terms of mass per second, it's 150 to 140 in favor for Team 2 at the moment. TAC missile started for Team 2's Eastern Fly of Ayahuasca. He'll probably... Actually, he didn't go for T2 first, which is interesting. No T2 then TAC. He went kind of the opposite way if he does go for T2. He might start sniping away at the exterior mexes. There's going to be Team D built immediately here for Team 1, so he's really going to make that TAC missile count. On the western side, another attack inbound from Lasas continues to just constantly annoy Team 1, just will not stop doing it. We do see Team 2's comm of Original Angel with a gun online. Is his little spikies? Nope, his spikies are actually sticking out of the surface of the water, so I think he's actually targetable by Team 1, if I'm not mistaken. They don't see him, but he's definitely targetable, given that his head is exposed. We do see some of those units from the sauce do get into the Team 1 mexes back here for this 5-star mex position. And 1 mex is down, 2 mexes are down. I'd say probably the rest of these mexes are going to die. So that's 10 mass a second being lost for Lupercal, and that will continue to extend Team 2's lead by 20 mass a second or so. Team 2, the only player really making any, charging, fourth is Team 2's Original Angel. Everybody else in the game, even on Team 2, staying either in their main base or pretty close to the main base. They do have some facilities and units next to them, so not completely by themselves. I'd say a little bit lax on Lasas's position there. And in the east, Ayahuasca has a lot of structures and facilities next to him. But, well, he has 1 T2 PD, so that's something. Gun starting on Ayahuasca, so he has gun, T2, he has T2 and missile. He's now going for his gun. He might go straight for T3 and then do Billy Nuke. But again, both teams have access to Billy Nukes. Both teams have access to telemasers. Both teams have access to the annoying regen Seraphim tanky commanders with their just 50,000 plus hit points, which is just insane for a comm to have, at least. Vernon upgrading his mexes. Team 2's Original Angel still hanging out. His gun just barely not able to, poke its cannon out of the water to fire these units. A couple of bombers inbound from him once again. They drop a payload, or try to drop a payload, but AA deals with those quite nicely. And a reclaim immediately happens. Team 1, we do see a little bit grouping of interceptors here. No real push for air that I've seen from Team 1. I actually scratched that. T3 has been thought about, and it's going, as of right now. It should be finished maybe 14.5 minutes. Team 2 on the eastern side, T2 land, T3 air has been started as well. No T2 land for him, and then T2 land in the west. So everybody on Team 1 has T2 land, and everybody on Team 2, except for Team 2's Lasas, has T2 land as well. We do see 1 PGen is destroyed. Shield was not built in time. Another missile should be raining in. There it is. Does it go for the mechs? It does. It grabs 1 PGen and 1 max. That is definitely going to hurt TMDs being built immediately. Another missile should be fired, and there it is. Another one inbound. Going to kill off that other mechs right there. And it is going after the adjacent mexes for the T2 land facility, so those units will cost just a little bit more, and he's producing a little bit less mass. And Team D is not within range and is not able to shoot down the missile in time, and that's another mex down, so that's 18 mass a second, closing in on 24, and then he might grab the 30 in time and make it a penta kill with all of those mexes. Team D was built, and 1 shot and 2 shots. So yeah, just enough to protect that last T2 mech. But that is still a lot to lose. But Team 1 just sending a force completely against the eastern player of Team 2's Ayahuasca, actually just isolating him for pretty much everything that he has, and Team 2 in general. On the western side, a couple of some flat cannons mixed in and some rhinos as well. This is a land facility position, not an air facility, which would even be hurting worse. But we have Riptides just trying to be spammed up. We have a couple of T2 PD. Team 1 PD has been built. Bombers are raining in now. The force is going to do some damage to this base. Team 1 PD, again, just hurriedly trying to be built as quickly as possible. And there's a decent amount of rhinos here. Triads are going to be overwhelmed here shortly. More units coming online. Looks like it's going to be parashields coming out of this base. Team 1 PD just can't be kept online long enough. And this eastern base for Team 2, while he was tack sniping those mexes for Team 1's the Alpha, he's going to lose, I think, a lot more than just mexes. He'll probably lose probably all of his mexes and probably his air facilities, his P-gens, maybe... Yeah, he won't keep his T2 land headquarters at this point. Western side, we still see Original Angel hanging out. He has Region Ore now going for Nano, and he's actually no longer sitting in the pond there. A couple of the units inbound from Team 1's Lupercal down the middle here, but Lasas has intercepted him. He has gun online. That should be more than enough. And a couple of Ilshis to boot as well. T2 land headquarters is down. Missile inbound misses the units. Unfortunately, they moved. And this main base for Team 2's Ayahuasca is dead and gone. We have units constantly coming in from Team 1's Alpha to reinforce and just keep the pressure on. T3 Air is online. And are we going to see a gunship? Looks like he's producing some T2 variety. Oh, did he produce that T2 gunship, or did he cancel that? Looked like he was done with that one. I guess not. We have some AA being built over here to the east. That base is gone. Nothing really stands in that base anymore, and that's going to put Ayahuasca down severely. But in terms of eco, to be fair, Team 1's not leading by that much, which does show how high up Team 2 was in the lead. If Team 2 could lose almost an entire player's eco and still be only with about 20 or so mass behind their opponents at this point. Original Angel almost done with his nano upgrade to the west. And now that force from Team 1 has two options. They can either go northward to completely wipe out Ayahuasca's stuff. And actually some mexes, I don't know if they were handed over or not by Team 2's play of Lasas, but maybe he's handed off some mexes. They could have also been just built by Ayahuasca anyways. But since it's so close to the T3 land headquarters, it does beg the question if those were actually built by him or not. But it is a nice little assist, though. We do see Ayahuasca being shot by some pillars. Nothing too crazy, though. He has an overcharge capable comm as well, gun, missile, and T2. So realistically, he's not going to be hurting anytime soon. I don't understand the need to build two radar systems right next to one another. I would understand if two players built radar systems next to one another, but not himself. I mean, he has one there, one there, one there. We do see a transport with some engineers, and they're going to scoop Team 2's stuff up so that he can't get that and rebuild easy. Nice grab there from Team 1's the Alpha. He's going to get a lot of mass from this, and again, every little bit counts. We do see Lasas moving in with his comm. We do see, of course, Ayahuasca. So those engineers have moments, probably about a minute or so, to scoop up as much reclaim as they can. They haven't been given orders as of yet, which is just burning daylight or nightlight, depending on what time this game is happening. And those forces from Team 1's Alpha now moving into this position. They kind of just traded with where the comm was going. Ayahuasca went this way, and then those forces went this way. We do see a nice little, was that a Titan? Yep, Titan gets killed off. Transport drops off a hefty amount of engineers from Team 1's Lupercal, and that set of engineers are just going to get blown up. Oh, that was all of them in one drop. One overcharge, and those engineers move out of the way, and they start reclaiming. And we see Ayahuasca getting some Team 1 PD to eliminate the remaining stuff from Team 1. More T2 PD now being built to, again, secure that environment. He is going to lose a little bit of that reclaim, but it could be worse. But in Team 1's case, we have Team 1 PD with wall sections being built. Titans trying to be spammed up as quickly as possible, but the Ilshis are inbound, and they are nasty little units. They pump out a lot of firepower, and they will not stop firing. Team 1 PD is just going to be ripped apart before it even has a chance to really materialize in any major way. Those engineers are now dealt with. Team 1 did get a little bit of reclaim, but nothing too much. And Ayahuasca is going to be out of commission for a while, but he's still in the game in terms of his comm. He hasn't controlled Cade yet, or left the game, or had a connection issue, or whatever the case may happen, or been killed off. But he's going to keep fighting. T3 land headquarters, though, that is going to hurt Team 1. The only T3 units they can build now, whatever's on the, the not current building, like a 3D printer, they are going to finish the build, but then after that, they're not going to get any more things to actually construct. Loyalists inbound from Team 1 as well to assist in EMP. They're going to go after another T3 land, not headquarters, just another facility. Definitely target the P-gens. That's going to eliminate a little bit the ability for Team 1 to actually build stuff, and it might actually drop their eco a little bit more. They don't have enough power to run and everything. This is Lupercal stuff, and he's still positive, and looks like Team 1 has now been dealt with their infestation of Ilshis by Team 2, but the damage is done. T3 land is gone, and a couple of P-gens are gone, and Janus are not helping light everything on fire. T2 air, of course, right next door. T2 land is being built as we speak, and then immediately to T3. But another set of Ilshis are inbound, and Original Angel has gun, nano, and regen aura online. 5 points all online for Team 2, so of course T3 air is online for both teams. It's probably been online for at least 3 or 4 minutes at this point. The remaining forces from Team 1, the Alpha, again, they've done great work. 4-star vet, 3-star vet. Pretty much everybody has veterancy. Everybody, actually, even he has veterancy, but he didn't get named for whatever reason. One more T2 unit is down. A couple of units might make it back home, but that is, it's not a whole lot. Team 2's Ayahuasca still is reeling from that attack. He is helping out, getting his team back in the lead, though, in terms of mass per second, and nobody is dead before 20 minutes. We always love to see that. Team 1's Lupercal, it wasn't hit as bad, but he did lose a T3 land and a couple of P-gens. A couple of T2 P-gens, to be fair. Maybe if you lost these two, that probably would have been a different situation. But T3 land is almost rebuilt. We can start pumping out more of those Titans, and then I would assume Percy's here shortly. Nano repair started for Ferdinand. It's gun, T2, and Nano versus Team 2's gun, nano, and regen aura. So a little bit more focused on keeping his units alive. Team 1 a little bit more focused on keeping his comm alive with those 2,000 additional hit points from the T2 engineering suite upgrade. Air grid, no expansions yet. Just focusing on gunships, it looks like, in T3 P-gens. T3 P-gen not finished yet. Probably should finish that. And then in the south, what has been the Team 2's Western player version Angel up to? Looks like shield generators to protect the P-gens. Definitely a smart idea there. And usually this environment, in terms of the dark soil ground with these kind of lightning thingamajiggies, usually these maps have a lot of reclaim, but I think this is one of the first ones, if not the first one, that has really had not a lot of reclaim. They usually have a ton of rocks with all those crystals and stuff, but not really. But I think the first combi-com action is happening now at 22 minutes. Original Angel fires a couple of volleys into Ferdinand's comm and goes, nah, that's about it. Ilshis v. Ilshis. And we have a couple of Voltus still hammering on said Ilshis. Are they doing enough damage to actually kill off the Ilshis? Eventually, but it is taking them a little bit while. 53 hit points a second region is a decent amount. And looks like the gunship's now going to get... Oh, that got intercepted immediately. And here comes a swarm of the everything from Team 2. No more gunships. Team 1 is what I got from that. And still another attack inbound from Team 1's the Alpha. I just can't keep up at this point. We have Titans now. We have Renegades inbound to try to deal with this. T2 land is online, upgrading to T3. He probably won't get that. This set of mexes are gone. And actually, no, this wasn't his main base. That was his main base up there. So, yeah, maybe those were built by... Oh, those are UEF. Those are probably built by Ayahuasca. But anyways, T3 land... Was it completely denied? No, it was not. A couple more units staying behind to wipe out everything else, or at least try to. And we have gunships trying to deal with the remaining Titans. We have ASFs inbound to clean up the interceptors to protect the gunships. Interceptors are going home, and the gunships are essentially corralling all of those forces. We have many Mantis, many Ilshis, and a couple of pillars inbound from... Actually, those are not pillars. Those are Riptides. And T2 tanks. T2 hover tanks from Ayahuasca. And that one's gone, and that one's gone. Looks like it was actually a mix of Loyalists and... Those all Loyalists and Titans? I thought those were also Titans as well. Maybe I missed that. Those look like Titans for a second, but maybe not. Maybe those were Loyalists. He was from over here, to be fair, so yes. But it kind of looked like maybe he got some... I thought I saw a Titan in there. I could have been wrong. No, those are definitely Loyalist Rex for sure. Anyway, I probably just saw the icon and went Titan, but no, Loyalist. Team 2 is now in the lead by a significant way. Everybody on Team 2 is over 100 mass a second. I will note that the Alpha is at 145, so he is leading the game in terms of eco, but Team 2... Okay, maybe it's a power-related thing, but Team 2 is still leading it the lead was 100, now it's 30. So it's not at... Oh, and then Team 1's in the lead now. So never mind. Forget what I just said. Team 1 is not behind. They're doing perfectly fine in terms of eco per second, mass per second. Team 2 slightly ahead in total mass, but realistically, that's not by much. And a smidgen more reclaim for Team 2, but again, also not by much. This game might come down to just a couple of experimentals, maybe. We're at 25 minutes almost, and nothing has been spotted in that way. Air grid expansion a little bit. We have more and more and more engineers, and we see some Percy starting to repair. And don't know why that land facility is blown up. Looks like he wanted another nice little mass storage. And yeah, no experimentals for Team 1. Team 2 going anyway in that regard. Lots of wall sections. That's not going to work since there's Percy's inbound. And are there any forces to really deal with that? Not really. A couple of Riptides. We have T3 mexes being built. We have gunships inbound. So the air is definitely going to help out Team 2. But I think maybe they'll get to a mix. No, they won't. No, they won't. They'll probably get the hydrocarbon, but that's about it. T3 land headquarters being built back here. Nice back up there, or actually nice position just because it's far away from that side. He's already been attacked once, and he kind of got attacked a second time at this point, so he's probably worried about having to build it a third time or second time. And nothing over here as well. Nobody going for experimentals. We barely had combi-com action for about, was it 3 or 4 shots maybe? Ayahuasca is retreating in the face of a couple of Loyalists and a nice little pillar and a couple of other units. But nothing really that damaging. He could actually blap those away, but there are more rhinos inbound. There's more flak inbound as well. Rebuild, says Ayahuasca, talking about his mexes. He looks like he's Lasas is on that right now. On western side, we have Autumns now joining the Ilshis on the western side. Original Angel, Gun, Regan the Nano, and Regen Ore is online. We have Percy's now augmenting the forces from Lupercal. And no T3 air for him. Nope, just going to be... Oh, no, T3 air over here. So we have T3 land, T3 air, T3 land, T2 air, and T3 land, T3 air. Team 2, it's just T3 land, T3 land, and T3 land and air. So a little bit more focus on air for Team 1. And by contrast, a little bit more focus on land for Team 2, just because they aren't building that much air. But it's always nice to at least have a Tier 1, just to have air scouts. And if you're going Navy, at least T2 for Twart bombers and air scouts. And depending on which faction, you have Swift Winds, you have gunships. Every faction has gunships, to be fair. So gunships, Twart bombers, and air scouts at T2. And maybe an interceptor once in a while. A couple of just the units hanging out down here. Some hummingbirds just, taking a rest on that upper plateau. Just passing shots from some ASFs like, yeah, you're not going to stay that much longer. But 27 on the clock. Team 1 is at 520, 530. Team 2 is at 570. Well, now they jumped to 560. Never mind. So we'll just say 20 mass a second in favor for Team 2 and leave it there. The numbers keep changing too quickly for me to keep up, even though it's only a 6-player game and there's really not that much jumping, but still. Let me know down in the comments if you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't, because why not at this point, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We've had very good back and forth both in the east and in the middle here. Not a lot of action on the western side, at least back and forth. It's mainly just been, this way. But who knows? That one attack from Team 1's western front could be enough to win the game outright. So we will have to see if he's just waiting to build up or not. Again, thank you so much for watching this point in the video. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, do the YouTube things that YouTube loves to see. Subscribe, comment, share, that sort of thing. It really does help out the channel. So thank you so much. We have some Loyalists having some issues with conga lining. They're not moving. They're kind of just booping into one another at this point. There's one lonely little brick. Bricks cannot be EMP'd with the secondary fire weapons from the Loyalists. It has to be the T3 or the explosion from those T3 units. And that's not for very long, but that second or two can make a difference between surviving and not. And again, this game is going to be won by the margins. It's 1% here, 2% here, maybe a 5% here or there, but it's mainly going to be just slowly chipping away at resolve, at APM, at maxes, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is, just the slow resolve. Not slow resolve, what's the word I'm looking for? Just the slow but steady, just carving away. Ilshis, there's a lot of them here from Team 2, and they put out a lot of rounds, but when you compare them to, well, this Ilshis for Team 1 and this Percy's mixed in, Percy's are definitely a great unit to deal with it, and Lasas is defeated by the Alpha. Looks like he got assassinated by gunships from Team 1. And that was a very quick and just decisive kill there. So Team 2 loses a player at 30 minutes. They lose their highest rated player of the game, speaking of which. So that base will go to Original Angel, but now it is a 3v2 in favor for Team 1, and Spider has been commented by Lasas saying, hey, I was building that, so hey, you should keep building that. Looks like a little bit of airlocking going down between Team 1 and Team 2 in favor for Team 1 there. Not a whole lot, but enough. And that force of Loyalists is inbound. Yeah, was he trying to get to the... Looks like he was trying to get to the water. The gunships wouldn't have been able to hit him in the water. The Loyalists wouldn't have been able to either. And he was close. That is definitely unfortunate. I wish they kind of had like a statue or a tombstone or something that just sits there saying, hey, this is who died. We have gunships now raiding a couple of PD emplacements for the arrival of the land units. And we have ASFs inbound to clean the skies out. We have some Riptides in from the east. We have some Team 1 PD being built over to the west. We have Flak over here to deal with the gunships. But the land forces, they're going to crush this position. And the Original Angel is going to lose some mass. T3 land, Cybertech is gone. He probably won't lose Cybertech outright because of all the stuff down here. And there's a Monkey Lord that's in the yellow. It's working. And looks like some comments by Original Angel against, looks like Ayahuasca most likely. We have some engineers just running into harm's way. Those are Seraphim engineers running around, probably just on reclaim orders. And now they're getting to the air grid. The Monkey Lord, oh, it's not looking too great. Pigeons are going down. There's still a gunship there. Another explosion. All the engineers are dead. And that Monkey Lord probably will not get finished. And then PD, it's helping a little bit. They're not bricks. It would have been worse if they were bricks, to be fair. They wouldn't be moving as fast as they were. Team 1 PD next door. The Loyalists are going around. More mexes are going down. Are they going to grab this mex? I think they'll grab that one, and that'll be it. If they do, is that a Ravager? There is a Ravager. And 720 hit points remain. T3 air is fine, but the pigeons are down. The Monkeywood is heavily damaged. T3 land is gone. That's a lot more mexes dead for Team 2, though. And now it's about a... Oh, is it 200? Is that power related? It could be reclaim related also, but let's say about 100 or so in favor for Team 1. And now the western side is being attacked. So there is a chicken, though, from Team 2, and that actually will be... it will be enough, but it will be decently damaged if the Percys focus on that. Or if they, don't, then it should be, no skin off its back. It would be perfectly fine. We have the Ophims and the Ilshis trying to create nice little distractions. The Percys aren't shooting at the chicken. They would have done a lot more damage to the chicken, to be fair. And there's that. And that attack is thwarted. Team 1 still has some forces over here that they can use, but they'll probably pull those back and create a defensive line probably about here. As we saw that those forces from Lupercal and Redden are over here on that western side. A little bit, again, air expansion, nothing too much. Chickens being built now for Team 1. Middle of the map. No fat boys yet that I've noticed. Just, it looks like Percy production all day, every day. Don't blame them. T3 Percys are the best. We have whalers being built as well. A little bit, maybe artillery. Maybe nuke. You could actually set that up a little bit better for a nuke. But probably artillery. 33 minutes on the clock. That kind of makes me think of T3 artillery. It could just be a ploy, though. Ayahuasca dealing with the remaining gunships just running around. But that's not great for Team 2 being down a player. Now, they didn't lose them early in the game, which we've seen losing players, depending on the map, losing a player very early in a 3v3 setting can be devastating. But at this point in the game, it might not be the worst thing. Now, if a second player dies for Team 2, that might be the end of the everything. But we'll see. And who knows? We've had games where there's one player left on one team and that team wins because he just counters attack, just everything, and he wins. Team 1 closing in on 1,000 mass a second. Team 2 at 700. So Team 1 really starting to jump away in the eco, and now we see Total Mass Recruit is now favoring them. We have a couple of spearheads running around just throwing missiles at Team 2. This middle of the map is heavily damaged from all the attacks, and they're getting some T2 mexes and ringing them and getting some T3 mexes, but they are down in the eco, and they need one base to die on Team 1 to really even things back out. We have that chicken over here to the west. Fred in finishes his first chicken. Is there a second chicken coming online for Team 2? There is a second chicken, a little bit of an air facility down there. I love how it's just a Team 1 surrounded by 4 T3 PGens. But it is upgrading to T2 and then T3 afterwards. There's still T3 air, so I think everybody on Team 2 is going to have T3 air, or did have T3 air, or will have T3 air, whatever the nomenclature is. And then to the north, we have T3 air, T2 air, and then T3 land. So almost everybody has every headquarters, at least land and air-wise, except for the middle player of Team 1 being Lupercal. But he's focusing on land, so I don't blame him. But another attack is inbound from Team 1, and this has been a sore spot for Team 2. They lost Team 2's Eastern players' ayahuasca base here, and then now they've lost a huge, almost the entire position here, and some stuff back there. We have air grids being built back here as well for ayahuasca. Monkey Lord most likely done for Original Angel or Chicken. And those forces for Team 1 are not pushing in. There's a lot of Team 1 PD though. They're keeping their units a little bit further back so the Team 1 PD don't engage them, but it does buy Team 2 just a smidgen or two more time. We have Ravagers being built by T3 engineers as quickly as possible. We have a couple of bouncers just throwing whatever they can at this. And there's a couple of spearheads. There's nothing else behind this force for Team 1. It's not like they're trying to clear the way for a Monkey Lord or something. So they are losing steam a little bit, but that's because they're being very slow and steady with their advancements. Percy's now coming in from Team 2. That Percy's just going to get, not one-tapped, but not have a fun day is what happened to that Percy. We have Cougars also in a couple of ASFs flying over top. We have Team 2's ayahuasca sitting here. T3 Engineering Suite on board his comm. He's hanging out with 21,000 hit points on board his comm. We have a couple of air scouts to help a little bit, and Ravagers are being dealt with. We have a Percy or two now, again inbound. It's slow and steady, but it's constantly coming in. Air facilities being expanded upon in the south. We have more Percys outbound from these facilities back here. And that's where the T3 land. Actually, I thought the T3 land and the T3 air quarters are back here. We're actually both ayahuasca in Cybrid and UEF Tech. At least the land facilities, at least. A couple of ASFs flying over top for Team 1. Nothing too crazy. We have bouncers just throwing themselves at these bricks at this point. But again, the same set of mexes are dead, and Team 1's lead is growing. They're about double the mass of Team 2 at this point. And that amount of mass might just allow Team 1 to run away with it. I'm just waiting for an artillery piece to be built there. I'm just waiting for it. 37 minutes on the clock. Another chicken and then another one afterwards. More PGens. No SM. Oh, nope. That's a Hastue. That is not a SMD. That is a nuke. Has been started for Team 1. T3 started for Ferdinand's comm. T2 Engineering Suite started here for Lupercal. And then I was waiting for T1 Engineering Suite for the Alpha, but they always come by T1 anyways. I just thought it'd be a funny 3-2-1 kind of scenario. Percy's pushing back the last remaining bricks. They're going to intercept the spearheads, though. Not a crazy loss. It still will hurt, though. Again, every bit of mass counts, but in terms of reclaim, Team 1 is now winning the game in terms of reclaim, and they're winning total mass accrued, and they're winning mass per second. Looks like they dropped some mass. I don't know if that's power related or not. I think at one point, that's a little bit power related. But not really. They still have power in their bar, though, so... We have forces inbound from Team 1. So Lupercal from the northwest-ish. Now we have a counterattack on the western side brewing. One chicken dead for Team 1. One chicken dead about to die for Team 2. And that's just a trade there. Gunships over the top are going to help out Otham's need to fall back. They're going to get ioned to death from this. Same thing with the Percy's. Percy's immediately falling back. They'll lose a couple from their ranks, but nothing too crazy. We have a split with these Authams, though, and now that chicken's going to kill off that group of Authams, and then they'll engage these Authams, and then it just won't be a fun day for anybody over there, except for the chicken. They'll get veterans. See another chicken online, and Monkey Lord over here. He's thinking about continuing to push this western side, but if Team 1 continuously notices that, they'll probably just throw more stuff. They've even thrown a FAF point now moving in that direction. The call might be to charge this way and try to attack a different side, but we have attacks inbound this way and soon to be this way. And Team 2 is still reeling from this attack. They just cannot seem to secure that position. And that's 5, 6, 7 mexes that they're losing out on T3 tech. We have missiles inbound, wiping out a Percy. We have gunships over the top for Team 2's Ayahuasca, slowly eating away at those Percys. So that's not fun. Missiles will miss, but he did kill off, I think, 1 or 2 of those forces. It's better than nothing. Tac nuke started for Lupercal, tac nuke started for Ayahuasca, so Billy nukes are on the rise for both teams. He does not have teleporter. He has RAS and T3 engineering suite on board. Team 1 over here to the east also going for T3 engineering suite in the form of the Alpha. He also has RAS on board. Tac nuke is building. I don't know if he's going to get on a transport or not. Definitely get on a Continental if he's going to do the transport route, because might as well, your UEF, you might as well build the Continental. Shield the transport. Unique unit in that way. Why not? Okay. Well, UEF doing UEF things. Oh, okay. He not doing UEF things. Okay, never mind. He was going to do UEF things and he went, nah, I'm fine. I'm UEF. I don't need to do UEF things. Mix is still not being rebuilt. And we see some reclaim going down, though, for Team 2. It's helping their eco a little bit, but they need to get those T3 mixes back online sooner rather than later. They're going to get left behind in the dust. They're being led by 100,000 mass between 3 players, which is about 30-ish or so mass. 33.33333 repeating. T2 gunships inbound. They are Volthrough, so not super tanky in terms of hit points, but the flak isn't that great. It's really only great at Team 1 units for the most part. But most of those gunships have been dealt with. The chicken's just going to take its lumps and kind of just hang out. And ASF's engaged. We have a Monkey Lord inbound. We have Authams over here to the west. And then we have a chicken engaged in the Authams. Chicken's at 1-star vet now. Those Authams should be dealt with here shortly. Fat Boy is slowly bombarding the Fat Boy and the chicken. However, Percy, that's not helping things from Team 1 as well. We have tons of forces from Team 1 as well. They're moving in to intercept the monkey and the chicken. The chicken and the monkey are probably going to die. Another chicken is inbound. And even if they add that chicken to that mix, it's still going to be a devastating loss. That chicken killed off almost 2-star vets worth of Authams at this point, so looking good for itself. And Monkey Lord will engage. The chicken does not engage, and that Monkey Lord is walking into the fire and the flames, and as always, it will carry on. That was definitely something they probably could have mitigated a little bit. Is the chicken going to stand on that little plateau and shoot down? That could work. Chicken v chicken fight. And the chicken immediately goes, I'm not going to win that fight, and starts to push in, so at least it guarantees some of the hit points will die. Unless that chicken moves immediately, which it does. It might get singed a smidgen, but not too much. The chicken, it's firing down a little bit onto those Percys, but the Percys are able to shoot up for the most part onto the chicken, so the chicken is just going to stand there and just get shot at. And that went nowhere. Another chicken is inbound, and it's going to get one tapped almost. And that's 2 chickens dead and a Monkey Lord. Well within Team 1's range to go for reclaim, so that's a lot of reclaim, especially with this game with not a lot of mass flowing in any direction. In terms of on the map, 170,000, and about half of it is right there where those 3 chickens plus Monkey Lord and everything else are. So definitely something both teams want immediately. That definitely will help rebuild this position pretty quickly if Team 2 can get their hands on it. But Billy Nuke is inbound for Team 1. Billy Nuke is almost not, it's not even loading for Team 2. There goes the Billy Nuke, lands a little bit west of that position, singes maybe a unit or 2, but nothing too crazy. We have gunships inbound from the north over here, from the south over here onto the north side for Team 1, or for Team 2. Billy Nuke's going to try to land and blow them up. If it doesn't, it will intercept the land units, though. That is a nuke inbound from Team 1. And the Billy Nuke's going to land there. The Nuke's going to land over here. There is an SMD. It's going to be close. And there goes the Billy Nuke. Wipes out a couple of forces on the ground at least. I don't know how much was wiped out because I was focusing on the Nuke. ASF wipe out those. ASF from Team 1. Here comes the Nuke, and it's going to kill off Team 2's player. Oh, Original Angel, he's not going to load in time. And that is a very, very close headshot. Boom. There goes Team 2's Original Angel killed off by the nuke by Team 1. We have Awasa Bomber, if I can say it right, online and bombing the land forces from Ayahuasca. A little bit of revenge from earlier where his base got wiped out by Team 1's forces. Gunships are not going to be enough to kill off the crab, but it will do significant damage. Maybe second guess moving it in. Bowie Nuke lands, kills off a couple of gunships, maybe even killed off an ASF or two. But definitely doesn't want to drop an Ayahuasca bomb right in front of all those bricks and crabs and whatnot. Bomb is landing over to the west, going to kill off a ton of Othams though. That's a lot. That's a lot of dead forces for Team 2 on that western front, and I don't know if there's a way that Team 2 comes back in this game at this point. We have, again, T3 air recorders down there. We have another one over here. He has some mass to play with. He's at 680 or so, or 660 or so, I should say, but I just don't know if he has a plan to use it all. He's building a crab of his own, but I mean, Team 1, one player went for Nuke, and Awasa Bomber. One of them's going for Satellite, so UEF is doing UEF things. And one of them's going for Bowie Nuke, which is helping out a decent amount as well. And again, the Bowie Nuke, it might not be that long range in terms of artillery or whatnot, but it does cover a decent portion of the map, to be fair. Ooh, wipes out a couple of forces there. Boom. Not a lot, but hey, a couple of mexes, a couple of units, it makes a difference after a while. 45 minutes on the clock, and the game is just not looking good. This base is dead over here, so that's 5 mexes down, plus a couple of other mexes that have been sniped at some point or another. More mexes that are down. They haven't been rebuilt yet. We have mexes over here. There's tons of stuff for Team 2 to build. A couple of mexes are down for Team 1, but not that much, and they're working on remedying that issue. But this Western attack might be the last thing that Team 1, I mean, maybe realistically needs to do. We do have the Megawith over here, so they might try to sandwich the middle of the map here. You can see there's a huge amount of stuff for Team 2 here, but not a lot over here and not really a whole lot over there. And you can kind of see it happening on the eastern and western side. At this point, we have an Awasa Bomber, Chicken, and Fat Boy to the western side, Crab on the eastern side. Again, decently damaged, about 50% hit points, but there's another Fat Boy online, and that might be it. And a Satellite. Don't forget Satellite. Second Satellite, more Satellites, because Nikki thinks at this point it's going to be a done deal. Awasa Bomber. Is that the same one? Is that a different one? That's a different one. And a nuke. Don't forget the nuke. Going to drop on the air grid. That's gone. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. That base is dead and gone. He does have an SMD here, but he might control K. He might get blown up by something. Who knows? But I just don't know if there's enough for Team 2 to come back. 2 Awasa Bombers plus a nuke plus everything else on the ground plus the calm of Team 1's. Lupercal is slowly pushing in. Bowie Nuke inbound. That's going to be a nice Bowie Nuke, though. It's going to wipe out a decent amount of those spam units. And Awasa Bomber inbound. Oh, imagine if it hit the bomber. Imagine. It wouldn't have killed it, but it would have been impressive. AA is going to help out a little bit. There's the Bowie Nuke. Wipes out a ton of forces there. Kills off more T3 mexes for Team 2. That's all 5 mexes dead. T3 air recorder's not dead, though, but still. And Bowie Nuke lands right pretty close to the comp. Ayahuasca gets hit by 2 Awasa Bombers. Ooh, I didn't really need to double up on that. But it looks like they're targeting the last main base. That Awasa Bomber by 1 and 2 seals the deal on that. But this base is gone. This base is pretty much gone. This base is already gone. The mexes are down here. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot. And Team 2's Ayahuasca kills off Lupercal. He gets 1 kill at the end, so not a flawless victory for Team 1. Again, if he kills off 2 players right after, one after the other after this point, that'd be a win for Team 2. That'd be a comeback from very much just a loss, definite loss. But we'll, I got a couple more minutes. We'll see. I don't think at this point Team 1's going to let that happen. They'll probably hide their comms underneath more shielding just to prevent it. Megalith is dead. We still have, again, still a lot of pressure from the western side. Awasa Bombers still flying over the top. We have 2 of them still. This one at 5-star vet. This one at 1-star vet. Dropping payloads. Not on the comm. They actually could just wipe out the comm right now. I don't see why not. They know where he is. They see him on radar. Like, they definitely know because they've flown over him a couple of times. Nope, no Monkey Lord here for Ayahuasca. Bomb drops right. Oh, nope, doesn't drop. And Bomber maybe gets out of there. Barely. Bomber is inbound for the comm. It drops. Actually, no, it drops a little bit short. Goes for a couple of facilities. That Bomber will. And it just won't die. It's 5,000 hit points or something. This one's at, regenning now, but probably 5,000 as well. Not really a lot of hit points remaining for both of those. They might just get one last drop in. They could, again, go straight for the... Okay, there's a nuke there. That'll work. SMD will most likely die. It's not even loaded anyways. I don't think it would load. Even if it was loaded, it wouldn't matter anyways because it will get shot down. Ayahuasca's like, yeah, I think I kind of know which way this direction's going. Bombs? Drop the bombs. Drop the bombs. Make it very explosive. Billy Nuke's inbound. Oh, I think he heard me maybe through the ether. Maybe. They're lining up for a shot. Not on the comm. Lamping out forces, I guess. Trying to protect their land experimentals. Nuke's gonna land. Billy... Coleman says Lupercal wipes out whatever was left there. And he's just gonna full charge that that megalith, and it looks like a couple of Titans, bricks help kill off a Fat Boy. Now they're gonna go off the comm. Okay, there we go. There's one. And there's two. It's gonna take two. Actually, it might not take two, it might take three. Oh, it takes three. Oh. Well. Yeah, he was like, absolutely not. He saw the satellites and went, nope. But Team 1 wins the game. Not flawlessly, though. Almost at 50 minutes even. At 49:58. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. MVPs, I mean, Team 1 all around, they did a very good job. Western side, Eastern side, middle. I think lots of rating from this Eastern side helped out a ton. It kept Team 2 down in mass per second. And then shifting over to this base. I mean, this base was offline, multiple times, and that's 5 mexes. If they're at T2, that's 60 mex a second. No ring. If they're at T3 single ring, that's 130. That's a lot of mass to just not have. But let me know down in the comments who you think who deserves MVP. I'm kind of leaning towards Lupercal / the Alpha, but the nuke helped out a lot. The ayahuasca bombers were nice to see, but they weren't the end all be all, though. It was either going to be land or something. The nuke would have helped as well. The satellites, it didn't really do a whole lot. At least that's what I saw. There was 2 of them done. 2 of them were about to be done, so 4. But I don't know. I don't think there's going to be that much more that could have been done at that point. But again, thank you so much for watching the very end of the video as always, and I will see all of you in the next one.